Hey guys, this is Michael the Mechanical, and it's been an awkward try to start the videos. And what I wanted to do today is pretty much talk about some thoughts, opinions, and directions I kind of want to think about doing and going. In my personal life, things are already, in a sense, overwhelming, and I kind of want to push a little bit towards making the Michael the Mechanical channel grow in something more. However, from what I can tell you, I've never really enjoyed the process of editing videos. Part of the reason is the software has gotten harder and a bit more annoying to stick with the same brand, and learning the new skills to do that stuff has been something that I don't feel comfortable or really enjoy. It takes away from the elements where I can apply myself to other things which I'm more confident in, and things where I can be productive. I like being productive. I don't like being slow. So trying to make a video and be productive at the same time, it just is a conflict of interest within myself personally, because I like to get stuff done. I can't just take my time to make a video at the same time, do a thing, because I'm trying to be fast about what I'm doing. At the same time, I gotta be careful. At the same time, I gotta make videos and then reposition cameras and all that stuff. And I'm gonna be honest, I bought a GoPro, worst investment I ever did. I kept having so many issues with the batteries going flat and it overheating, which was annoying. And I bet you the battery is flat even though it's been plugged into power. And that's why it's open, because I just have to keep plugging it back in the power. And so I wonder what it's going to say about the battery right now. It's at 75%. Now, every time I pick this up, because there's a lot of weird issues, it's kind of a finicky thing. I have plenty of things for this. I even cut off GoPro subscription because it was just not worth it. They're like, oh yeah, it's $70, $100 a year subscription fee, and you can reapply and you can keep the warranties on your stuff. But if you have to reapply in the future, you don't keep the warranty for the stuff I've currently got. You only get it on the new stuff I buy. And it's like paying for an infinite warranty, which, based on the fact that the GoPros do not perform well, in my personal opinion, I probably think it was a good decision to get rid of the subscription, because even though they supplied some software and some fancy things, I wouldn't use them. And there is just so many cons to the GoPro service that it's like, what is even the point? Now, people in the professional world have been using the GoPros forever, and therefore they know what they're doing and they have a workflow that works for them. Me, I don't like the workflow of uploading videos to my phone in order to upload to the cloud, because that's stupid. I can just put them on my computer and edit it straight away. Or better scenario would be to take the files straight off and put it to my NAS. Then I can just store it there until a later date. The problem with that is you don't make videos by storing things all the time. So the question becomes, what next? What is the next consideration? Look, I live in the South Australia, Adelaide area, and my thoughts are, I have a lot of other things I want to do that's like mechanical stuff. I don't want to focus solely on the automotive things, but I want to have a derivative which sort of is like mechanical. It's never been Michael the Automotive. It's been Michael the Mechanical. I've always had a fascination with like gears and cogs and making stuff. And like, we could call it engineering, but there's plenty of engineering stuff out there, and not everyone knows what the hell is involved in engineering. And I like the idea of being mechanical and then try to learn the engineering stuff and apply that to the scenario. And I like the idea of building custom things. That stuff is cool. I just watched a couple of videos and I've been looking into buying machines, but then I thought to myself, where do you start when you have nothing? How do you get creative with the little things that we have, and then use your creativeness to bring that, what's online, to life? like, we're going to have our limitations. We can't do electrical works. We can't build an electric motor, I don't think, unless I do some more digging. Like, it's possible, but I don't think at this stage in time it would even be viable to even try to do that. And it would be a challenge to build something powerful enough and accurate enough to do anything you'd want to apply it to. And the materials and specializations, no one has that kind of equipment to do that stuff. But with time and doing little things, maybe we could eventually get to that point and grow from nothing to something, but using what we do ourselves to get to that point, to get to the far end. Don't just buy tools anymore. We don't have all those tools in real life. Why don't we find a way to learn from what's out there and apply it in an engineering way that everyone can like see as an accessible point, and learn about evolution of how we can start from nothing and make something of it. It's not like building a house. Like, a house is a point in your life where it's like you can build a place to live. Whereas with engineering, you can go out and buy a tool, use the tool, but what is the point in buying a tool if you're only going to use it so many times? Or not even use it much at all? I think to myself about that in a sense of, why not, instead of buy the tool, build it? I watched a video from something Innovators or whatever on YouTube. I don't remember the name, but it was like an inspiring sort of video. Consider that idea. However, I don't entirely like how they've, fabricated things, but it works. It's like looking at junk that does the job. And I kind of like it. I kind of like that even though it's junk, it's a starting point and it gets your feet off the ground. I don't know if I'll find the video, but it was something to do with making a lathe, like building a custom lathe. That's building. I just want to give people the channel name so then they can go look it up. It was a video that was like 4 months ago that I watched, and it was called Building a Custom Lathe or something along those lines, and they have machines to do it. So it was a little bit disappointing that, they used some tools, but in all honesty, for what they achieved, it's like, that is really, really cool what they achieved. And I'm hoping it's not this video I'm looking at, because I have a hard time buying that that's the video, but if it is, I'm going to be disappointed. It was 4 months ago that I saw that there was a video posted, so what I'm going to try and filter is most recent. Please be most recent upload date. Okay. The reason this is so cool, if I show you, you're gonna see how junk it is, but then at the same time be like, oh my god, that is so freaking cool. And some people might actually get like, I want to do that. Like, you guys want to do that. I kind of look at it and I'm like, hey, I want to do that. I found it. There we go. It's called Innovation Time. And they just build together out of all this crap a lathe. Now, of course, they buy a chuck. They buy some bits and pieces here and there. And then the machine that they build can like machine and do stuff. And they built just about not every single part, but they just about did that. So Innovation Time was the inspiration. 33,000 likes. Now, I'm not going to say we want to replace them. We're mechanical stuff. And I think that is cool. And I want to kind of innovate in my own way on how I would do it, because it's really cool that they're getting all this scrap material and welding it together and doing all this. The problem I see with this, and I could be wrong, is that there's all this risk of things not being quite accurate when it's finished, and so when you're machining and doing work, its accuracy is not going to be quite right or right there. And if you need to repair things or change things, is it really helpful? Is it the way it works, is it actually helpful and useful? And I'm thinking to myself, well, there's a lot of things you can do with a lathe. There's a lot of things you can do with a mill. And I kind of have this feeling like I want a mill and a lathe. I want a multi-purpose tool. And I'm thinking to myself, that's what I want to do now. Because it's like $10,000 to buy roughly the right mill. And I want a mill and a lathe all in one, because the smaller your shop size, the harder it is to fit more and more into it. And if you're not going to use it often, why have more than one machine? My dad, half his shop is full of machines and he never uses them. Tool and cutter grinder, never uses it. Milling machine, never uses it. 2 lathes, barely ever touches them. And the only time he ever touched it was for a bush for a tool of mine. So the way I want to go about this, guys, is I'm not funny. That's one of the problems that I have to admit. I'm not a funny person. I've never been funny. But this stuff is really exciting and cool to me. And oh my god, what the heck is this guy doing? He's grinding that square bar, and he's he's ballparking it by eye. I mean, don't get me wrong, that is cool, but for me personally, I just don't like the risk of the inaccuracy, and I feel like I've got ideas on how I would, innovate on that. Like, his channel is Innovation Time. I don't think I want to steal his name or steal what he does, but he's not really... He's innovating with scrap material. He's innovating in a way, we don't have a lathe, let's build one instead. He's done that, and that's cool. And I like this idea of building the tool that I want and I need. It is its own innovation, and no, I'm not trying to steal from them. I've just been having this fascination with looking at like a mill and a lathe all in one. I had this idea, okay? You want to buy a lathe and a mill? Why not buy the $10,000 one from General Tools and then use the horizontal axis to mount a chuck, and then use that as your lathe, and then put another bed on top of your milling machine at a certain point, wind it all the way out, and then you wind it in and out, and then you have your tools on top on another bed. And then that can be your finer adjustments, but also it could be where you also have your tools that go this way, and then you could have the rotating bed stuff. And then you could have everything in one machine. And if it's too high, you can lower the bed. Think about it from another perspective. You can lower the bed, right, with just one part of the machine. You can't do that with a lathe. You have to put packers under everything. And I'm just like, shit, that's a cool idea. I can then adjust the height of my cutters simply by winding the table up and down if it's not centered. And all I need to do is do it from the chuck. The chuck is my live center point. And all I need to do is put a dead center in the chuck of the lathe, and then raise my tool to said height, lock that axis up, and then everything else is good to go. Let's machine this shit. And I think that's cool. The catch-20 here is the machine might be limited on how much you could put in it. Like, you couldn't put big stuff in it. And how would you handle a bigger piece of material? That is where the lathe comes into it. The lathe has the bed length, and you can push it in and out like that. The one thing it doesn't have is the lathe can't go up and down. But the milling machine has 2 ways of going up and down. First of all is the table, And secondly is the drilling axis, or where they have that dovetail or pole, and then it just goes up and down, winds up and down. And it's like, dude, that is so cool that you can do that. And then they have the headstocks that go up across. There is so much you can do with the combination of the lathe and the mill. And the question I have in mind is, could you build a machine where you could do just about anything you want? I feel like sneezing. Bless me, I'm not sick yet. So what I kind of want to do, and I have to probably make a video if I do this, like a proper video, not this stuff, these sort of vloggy things. I need to change the style that we do videos. I need to change the way we do the videos. I need to use real software. I need to get everything together. But I don't think I'm the right person to do all of this. And let me further explain. My background is more as a professional game developer. Yeah, I haven't fully applied myself, and that's the safest thing I can really do at this point in time, rather than working with people. However, if I do work with people, wouldn't it be cool to do it in a different way? Take the MichaelTheMEKHanical name, rebrand it, and then do it in such a way, either start a new channel, keep this channel going for like a year and rebrand to a new channel and collaborate with other people on the new channel, while slowly dissolving the MichaelTheMEKHanical channel. Just slowly, because then I can just do it in a different way. The reason I want to consider that option is because no one wants to work for free. And if they own part of it, or feel like they own most of it in a sense, then what we can do is I can help make the videos in one way, but they can help make videos in the other way. Like, they can go do most of the video editing, and I can show them all these things they can do with machines and tooling, and we can work on some projects together. And like, the 50-50 ownership is how we run the channel. So instead of getting all these crappy videos, which I normally make, someone who is committed and dedicated to doing the video editing, he'll take the video files and he'll do that. That's one aspect of the development process of these videos out of the equation for me, and I don't have to worry about it. And if I'm working with someone on this stuff, it's like we can spend hours at a time filming something, and then they can spend the hours to edit the video and then publish it to our channel. And then it's like, if they want to be involved in a video, then I got to try and do the reverse. They'll teach me their skills of the video recording, but because of all the stuff that's going on in my life, they'll probably have more ownership over the channel than me, and that's fine, because I just don't need all of that responsibility that comes with the channels, and, you know, that full-on commitment, because I've got so many other things I've got to deal with right now. However, what I would commit to keep that channel going is being involved in the activities in the videos. But I can't dedicate hours of my life to video editing, which I'm not good at, and it's like another skill to learn. It's difficult for me to explain, but the best way to explain why I want to consider doing that is by just looking at my desk. It's a big desk. I'm still cleaning up, but I now have a laptop instead of using my desktop at the moment. I don't actually know why I've made that choice. It's just been more convenient at the moment to just use the laptop for now. It's also more powerful than the PC, surprisingly. So this laptop has more grunt than this machine, because this has a 3060 and an i5. This has an i7 and a 3070. So it's a little bit better. Although graphics-wise, they're about the same performance. Then there's all this pile of stuff, and it frustrates me, and I have to push it always as far back as I can. I can't push any further. And then all of this. Now, I'm not perfect. I've had tool failures and failures and failures. And the cool thing about having the machines and the tools is that I'll be able to change how my tools work and improve them to do a better job. And then we can evolve and develop. Like, that's the idea. The idea isn't to make shit all the time and keep failing all the time. The idea is to fail until we succeed. And that's what the idea of the evolution is. And then once we have all the equipment and we've built it ourselves, it's going to have some sort of intrinsic value to people in the community, that it might even help us grow our channel in another sense. Like, we evolve, and as we evolve, we make better machines and then sell our others as like a classical sort of item from the channel, or auction it off and then do like a charity fundraiser with that sort of a thing. We could do that, but we would want to try and keep the channel just growing. And if it can sustain itself, we can afford to, say, sell it at an auction and then go to charity with that sort of money, which would be pretty cool. Because I'm lucky to be alive thanks to charity. Now, to further push my point of the struggle, lights aren't turning. This is one of the problems with these smart lights. This was a bit more messy than this, but I'm showing it anyway. I have been going through paperwork, and all these trays are organized in their own sort of category, like personal finances, car repairs, NDIS, business projects related, employment, and so on and so forth. I don't like having to look for employment. I don't think anyone does. But if we can do this as a project and it turns into something serious, then it gives everyone a way out of this nightmare which we call looking for work. And because people don't take us in the real world seriously enough, we need to take ourselves seriously enough to say, I want to give this a chance. Some people don't want to spend the money. Some people can't afford to not get paid. Like, I'm in a position where I can afford not to get paid thanks to the fact that I'm on a sort of income buffer at the moment, which is essentially just paying me to live. It's all it really does. And then I have some financial stuff on the side which helps me go. I wanted to use like 10,000-15,000 of that money that I originally had to work on my game and try to develop it and get it into a prototype phase, and then try to get investment into something that I've created with other people if it's successful enough. And the scary thing is it could also fail, but it's also a portfolio piece in me taking things seriously with people and showing that I collaborate with people and work with people well. The downside is it's a financial risk, a huge financial risk. And then the thing is, you have to be able to create, which is very hard. I want to just do stuff and not put all my eggs in one basket at this point. So even though I'm still into the game development stuff, I also want to do this. But I can't put my eggs into the basket of filmography. It's not something I enjoy. Like, this is the kind of videos that I don't really enjoy. The only time that I'll do them is when I have a team member that asks me and says, you have to make this kind of a video. And, you know, have a meeting, and then it's going to be this, like, oh, no, I don't want to make this video, but it's a responsibility. And when it becomes that responsibility that you have to do it for your teammates, it gives you a reason and an incentive to do it. Because I don't want to let my teammates down, or else they're not going to want to work with me, right? So I want to make it so that people feel like they want to work with me too. And that looks like a spider on the ceiling, but whatever. So I have stuff that I can offer to, you know, a team that can do this stuff. The thing is, I need to see that someone else wants to do this stuff as well. And I'm hoping to show them the reasons why I can't do all this stuff myself, to show them that, like, I can do all this stuff. The problem is I'm not in a position where I can do all of it now. And I'm doing other things at the moment. So if we want to make content now, I can't do the other side of things because it just takes too much time away from organizing and doing other things that are important. Also, we do this channel stuff. I unfortunately just can't do everything for myself. That wouldn't be fair on the rest of my team members. I'd have to do things with and for my team members, and even maybe for the community, which will be a challenging one too. But the good thing is, in my circumstances, given the circumstances, I don't have to go out to the public, even though they might want me and say you have to. My protection is in the fact that I have my health issues at the moment, until further notice, stopping me from going out. So if they say, hey, we need you to come to an event, look, this is the good thing about not being able to go to an event. If people want to meet the actual creator behind this stuff, they have this anticipation that it's not, when they come, it's going to be an incredible experience. It's going to mean that I can come out in public and, actually meet people and talk to people and stuff. It'll be pretty rude otherwise. Like, they want to see you at an event. But if it's everyone else at the event, it's going to be like the reverse of the reality of how they do those sort of, those events where they have the main person going to them. It's going to be the team instead that represents that activity that goes, rather than the main person who is there to represent the activity and be the main star in the thing. It's like these people are going to come and like they're going to have this anticipation for the next time and the next time and the next time, until finally we can say, here he is, Michael's here. He's finally well enough to come and attend events. And he is the person behind such and such activities. And we'll be able to build that portfolio to show what has Michael achieved on the team since he's been unable to attend these events. And that would be so cool to do a showcase of the stuff that I've worked on, to say that I can finally come out and finally talk with people and stuff. That would be really cool for people, I think, as well, to create that experience, that, building up that anticipation that, one of these days, one of these years, he's going to be able to come out and I'm going to get to meet him one day. It's going to be sad if it's the other way around and it's like, you'll never meet me, and that would hurt people, but I don't think things are going to go that way in life. And I don't want to do this for necessarily me personally. I kind of want to do this for a team, and if they end up saying they don't want to work with me anymore, then that's cool. I think I would let the channel slide because I've got other things in life to worry about. So understandably, it's one of those risks where I will end up working with people until people no longer want to work with me, or the other way around, or whatever it might be, and let it slide. But I want to consider this, and I want to put out that offer to anyone that wants to consider, having a chat about maybe starting a new channel, or even rebranding the MichaelTheMEKHanical channel, and then sort of having 50-50 ownership over said channel. I feel like it would be better to start a new channel with someone than to take this channel and add someone to it and then 50-50 it, because it is a small channel as it is now. And we can keep this going just ever so gently, understanding the history and stuff. And because of the videos are not a standard that we'd want to keep the history, we'd probably hide the history and then only keep the good stuff. Whereas with another channel, we can start making the best videos we can from the get-go. And that's kind of what the consideration is. And if someone decides, like, just in the early days that they don't want me to be part of this project or this team, and they want to do it on their own, then they easily can drop me and I don't lose anything. I still have MichaelTheMEKHanical and I can return to that stuff if I want to. And then what I can do with MichaelTheMEKHanical is I can just do simple vlogs and talk about life and stuff. But I don't really want to do a channel that's all about me. I want to do it about the things that we're all interested in and what gets us excited about things. Like, I love projects. If I don't have projects, I get bored. I get depressed and sad. I like the idea of, you don't have to do anything. You feel like you want to do something because you don't have to do it. But once you have fulfilled something, then you have no reason to fulfill it later on. It's like, what, you buy a machine. What did you do to get to it? I just spent money. What about building the machine? What did you do to get it? I did X, Y, Z, and so many steps along the way to get to that point. And I think that is the cool thing about it. We all need a car. We've got cars. I need to fix mine. And we need to get better at doing the work that we do. And I want to increase our workmanship. What would be cool with our machine is to innovate and use it for the purpose of improving everything that we can achieve on these machines, and improve what a small workshop can be capable of in such a way that gives them way more versatility with the tooling they've got. That would be so freaking cool. And because nothing's necessarily professional, it doesn't necessarily need a patent behind it. But if it is professionally done, of course, you'd consider patenting it rather than letting people come along, take that idea, reproduce it, and just sell your idea on. But it would be cool to have partners that we could work with to do that stuff, because we'll never be able to afford patenting. Forget that. I think that is like a dream that may never be. But it's also a dream that is always possible. So we'll never give up hope that we could do it. But we've got to look at it realistically. I don't think we can achieve it. Anyway, guys, it's time to take a step forward and do something else for now and get some other work done. Thank you very much for watching the video, and please take care of yourselves. Bye from Michael Mechanical.